I feel like shit.
Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days.
It's just one of
Friday, happy days. The weekend comes, let's not go home.
It's just one of those days where you don't wanna wake up. Everything is everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you wanna justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact, and if you interact, your life is on contract. Your best bet,
Just knock it off, you scum bucket.
it's just one of those days. It's just one of
Monday,
those.
happy days.
It's just one of
Tuesday,
those.
happy days.
It's just one of those
Happy days.
days.
The weekend comes, let's not go home. Ready to extend.
It's just one of those days, feeling like a freight train. First one to complain, leaves with the bloodstain. Damn right, I'm a maniac. You better shoot, cause I'm fucking up your program. And if you're stuck up, you just locked up. Next in line to get fucked up. Your best bet is to stay away, motherfucker. It's just,
I'm losing my cool.
it's all
Monday,
about,
happy days.
it's just one of
Tuesday,
those,
happy days.
it's just one of those
Happy days.
days.
The weekend comes, let's not go home. Ready to extend.
Feel like shit. My suggestion is to keep your distance. Right now I'm dangerous. Right now I'm dangerous.
Something's happening to the bonds.
If my day keeps going this way, I just might.
I'm gonna pop you one so you'll stop playing games.
Give me something great. Give me something great. I hope you know I like a chainsaw. A chainsaw. A motherfucking chainsaw.
What?
So come and get it.
What we got here is a case of mistaken identity, you know? See, now this here,
Not Robert.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chief Moody, and welcome to episode 238 of the Mood of the Nation podcast, or the Mood of the Nation, whatever you want to call it. How's everyone doing? It's been a while again and again and again. Yes, the last time I did the Mood of the Nation episode was back in January, I think it was, with 237. It's been like almost, I think, yeah, about like a month and a half at least since the last episode. And I did say in that last one I was going to come back and do more. Unfortunately, that would not be the case because I've just been, again, extremely busy with stuff. But we're here now. And also because I was going to do a stream this past Thursday, but unfortunately that never came to be because, again, things came up. I was going to do a stream yesterday. Again, things came up. So I'm back here today with this episode and possibly, well, I have set up for tomorrow for episode 239. So hopefully everything goes to plan for tomorrow's episode. And I'm going to use tomorrow's episode not only as a way as an apology for the fact that there wasn't an episode this past Thursday or even yesterday, but I'm going to use tomorrow's episode as a way of making it somewhat of a pseudo follow-up to this stream, considering what has happened earlier with the whole Iran situation. So we're not going to focus on that. We're specifically going to focus mainly on Restore Britain. And it's only been like, when did I first launch? Was it 2, maybe 3 weeks ago or something like that? And I have somewhat been following it ever since it first launched on Friday I'm forgetting the date, but it pretty much exploded into somewhat of popularity regarding to that. So we'll definitely get into that just now. The show tonight won't be entirely too long, as per usual, maybe for about an hour or something like that. But tonight's episode, as I said, is going to be mainly focused on Rupert Lowe and Restore Britain. So let me just have a quick look and see who's in the chat just now. There's about 10 people watching. 12 people watching, which is actually somewhat surprising considering that I've not actually done the stream for a long while. So we got Chaz Smash in the chat. How you doing? Thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. Good evening to you. Tight Scotsman has also just popped in the chat just now. Thank you very much for watching the show. So hopefully more people will come along, but we'll definitely wait and see. Also, a big thank you to Joe Marsh and also Mark Collett for also sharing the stream on Telegram. I've actually been using X a lot more as of late. which if you could definitely follow me there. I'll see if I can pop the link later on in the stream, because I'm going to be using that for a few tweets and such that have a lot to do with what we're going to be talking about in this case, which is Restore Britain. Joe Mars is in the chat. Thank you very much for watching the show. Joe Z828, I'm probably butchered that name, but thank you very much for watching. Happy St. David's Day. I didn't realize that was today. Well, happy St. David's Day to the Welsh. Thank you very much. I'm assuming it's the Welsh. Again, I think it is the Welsh. St. Andrews is Irish. No, wait a minute. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. No, is it St. Andrews is Scottish. Fuck me. Sorry, St. Andrews is Scottish. St. Patrick's is Irish. I can't remember the English one. So yeah, St. David's must be the Welsh. So yeah. There we go. Yeah, it's Welsh. Well, thank you, Joe Marsh, for pointing that out. Thank you. So, anyways, yes, it's good to be back. Well, however long that will be. Even though I did say that it's going to be tonight's episode and tomorrow's stream. Hopefully everything goes to plan and nothing comes up, but I'll be back for tomorrow's episode. There has been something that I've been wanting to do for a while regarding to my channel. Hold on one second. Happy St. David's Day to my Welsh brothers and sisters. St. George, that's the English one. I can't believe I've actually forgotten about that. Jesus Christ. Dear. Well, okay. Well, now we got that out of the way, but thank you, Chaz Smash. Millions must go. Yes, that's for those that might be in the dark of what that means. Millions must go. Let's just say that's somewhat part of the whole Restore Britain campaign. That if you thought Reform UK was the way forward in terms of British politics, it seems to me and a lot of other people ever since this announcement with Reform. With Restore, that Restore seems to be the way forward. Like Reform UK for a while started off with very staunch stances on a few things from what I've personally seen, but as of late they seem to have really dumb down their principles and all of that. So it's like, well, we want to do like the whole remigration process, but it's going to be kind of difficult. I believe that's what Nigel Farage said in one of his interviews. Whereas Rupert Lowe with his party now, Restore Britain, they've pretty much have come out full swing. And we're just like, no, millions must go. They did like a recent policy of theirs where they talk about immigration, and of course illegals, they must go back to their country of origin. When it comes to legal immigration, they have said that they must respect the laws of the land. They must learn English and all of this and that. The same few talking points from ethno-nationalists, what we've been saying for the past few years now. And it seems to me that they've been going full steam ahead with regards to that for those ideas. And it's actually been very surprising, to say the least. And not just with that, but a lot of the reactions, it's been very, very interesting, to say the least. And I believe someone in the chat might correct me on this, but I believe currently speaking, the amount of memberships with Restore Britain, it might be 80,000, maybe 90,000 at this point. I did see something about that earlier on, I think this past week, but I'm not exactly too sure on the number exactly. But this party, Restore Britain, has only been around for like 2, maybe 3 weeks now, or almost 3 weeks. 100,000 followers. Wow, that's again, that's just incredible, right? That's absolutely amazing, to say the least regarding to that. It's only been around for like a short period of time, and already it's completely changed the political landscape of Britain. A lot of people are really on board with this, because I think partly why that is the case, as we mentioned during the show just now, is partly because of the fact that Restore are very open and honest about their policies and what they plan to do, which is very promising, to say the least. And a lot of people, including members that I know, I'm not going to say like names or anything like that at all, obviously for like privacy's sake, but there have been some people that I know from all across the all across the nationalist scene who have become members of Restore Britain, which is great and all. That's actually fantastic. For me, I have been thinking about joining as well as like a member, but I think at this point in time, I'm gonna be maybe still be in the background of things, like, and maybe still kind of keep an eye on it at this point in time. The reason for that being is because, as great as this is right now with Restore Britain, I really do hope to God Almighty, because you know what, from when it first started up until now, maybe up until the 2029 elections or whatever, a lot of things can happen in that short span of time. Well, I say short span, but it's quite a while away. But you get my point, basically. Things could change and things could happen just like that. So my hoping in this case is a lot of stuff has been said with Restore Britain, which a lot of stuff I do agree with. I just hope to God Almighty above, even though I'm not religious in any way, shape, or form. Well, I would say I'm agnostic, but anyways, going on a tangent. I just hope that Rupert Lowe and Co. does not fuck it up, essentially, because look, at this point in time, people are desperate. I know I've said this on the show many, many, many times in the past before, but people are just desperate and they really want to see that change. This idea of maybe race does play a factor into ethnicities when it comes to what it means to be English, what it means to be Scottish, what it means to be Welsh, etc., etc. A lot of people are definitely starting to wake up to the idea that, you know what, maybe it's not just a cultural thing. Maybe that plays into a factor that this is ultimately a racial thing, that actually being English means it's a white person, being Scottish means you're a white person, you know, again, so on and so forth. See Ben Habib doing the transracial thing. Oh Jesus! I'm not going to join just a support from afar. Yeah, same with me. Same with me. I'm not going to join as of yet. Because again, like I said, things could change in a matter of well, just whenever basically. And I hope they do keep be consistent with their viewpoints. I just hope to God that they don't cuck or anything like that at all, because you know, Rupert Lowe could do that. We have seen, even when Restore Britain, when they first started, not even like a full week had been passed, and just already a lot of people were just like completely freaking out, like, oh no, ethno-nationalism is just it's completely taken over British politics. It's like, well, look, people have tried the civic nationalist route for years, many years, in fact, but unfortunately, it's just taken people down a complete dead end at this point in time, and people are just beginning to realize that. So, hold on one second. Let me see. I'm not sure ex-BNP activists like me would benefit Restore. MC said it could be a distraction, like Joe, support from afar. Again, that's completely fair. I could definitely understand people's doing that instead of actually becoming full-fledged members with it. Let's see. So PA membership supporting elections now. Well, I wouldn't say. I think even Mark even said that he still believes there's still no political solution to this whole thing. Maybe the Restore Britain might change that. We don't know. But even if it doesn't, I do believe that there is a chance that Restore Britain definitely will open the window for people accepting the ethno-nationalist talking points, because even just before Restore Britain, there's definitely like like an inkling of people starting to wake up with using our talking points. I mean, hell, even groups like Britain First are using ethno-nationalist talking points, even though they'll have no involvement or even will not side with groups like, say, PA or Remigration Now or anything like that at all. Because, oh, no, not those groups. Those groups are, to us, are just too extreme. No, we're definitely more mainstream than that. It's like, right, you're using our talking points, but you will not stand side to side with us with that. Right. Okay, that makes total sense, mate. Total sense. All right, so let's begin with the first thing that came out of this whole Restore Britain. I was going to say controversy, but it's not really a controversy, which is the video in question that was uploaded onto YouTube. It's the one with Rupert Lowe. I know people are in the chat are saying, well, I mean, everyone has already seen it, so why go over it? It's just really just for context of what we're talking about in terms of somewhat what I want to do is kind of like an abridged timeline of events, sort of. Not really completely, but just like, well, here's the basic facts of what we know from then up until now, essentially. Let's see, Stephen Murray 8559. Thank you very much for watching. I just go for whoever is the most extreme, right? Like myself. My only issue is dividing the vote. Fair enough. I completely understand that. There seems to be a lot of SIFNA, but mainly Reform UK supporters that have made that argument ever since Rupert Lowe has made his announcement about Restore Britain and the policies that he wants to do. A lot of the SIFNA / Reform UK law have been like, oh, well, if they're going to go ahead with the 2029 election, then it's just going to split the vote evenly when it comes. Well, not evenly. It's going to definitely split the vote. It's like, look, people did support reform. I did for like a short period of time until they started bringing in people like who was the one that I was just like, yeah, I'm completely done with reform. Oh yeah, Suella Braverman. Is it Braverman or Braverman? But the former member of the Conservative Party. And I remember that day when it was announced that she would become a member of Reform. I'm just like, yep, that's it. Reform have become the Tories 2.0, which is not an original point of mine. A lot of people have been saying it, but it's absolutely true. This idea of, oh, we just basically want Reform UK to be just another Tory party. It's like, right, okay. So basically the same exact points as the Tories. You're only making vague points about re-immigration this and immigration that and all of that. But ultimately speaking, you just want to be just like the Tory party, right? That's fantastic. So anyways, let's get right into the first thing, which is the video. And then after that, we'll then have a look at some of the tweets that have been posted ever since this announcement of Restore Britain. Now, like I said, we're just going to be watching this video again, just for context, essentially. Again, for like somewhat of timeline of events. And just before I go any further, there's something I've forgot to mention at the start of the show, which is, can everyone hear me fine? Is the microphone coming in clear or anything like that at all? Because it's a bit weird, right? Just before I go live, I tend to adjust the microphone settings to see if I've picked the right one. And for some reason, it just comes up with like multiple different options for like the microphone. One of them I would imagine would be for this built-in microphone computer, for the computer, I should say. Whereas there's another option, but there's like 2 or 3 different options for like this microphone, and I don't know why that is. But anyways, all good. Good audio is good, Chief. Right. Okay, so that's 2 people so far. Excellent. Oh, sorry, I'm just checking to see. Because I keep getting notifications on Telegram, but yeah, it's nothing much. It's just basically people talking about Iran and what happened yesterday, which again, we won't be covering on tonight's episode. I'll mainly save that for tomorrow's episode. So, time is it now? Wow, we're like 21 minutes into the show already. That's crazy. Well, according to my time anyway. But right, let's have a look at this. British and Proud 7, how you doing? Thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. We need to find a path which unites us all. Otherwise, divide we fall. Yeah, completely agree. 100% agree with that. See, just a little bit of a rant here before I start the video. There is a problem with the right wing. There's definitely a problem when it comes to that. See, with the left wing, right, or the extreme left, whatever you want to call them, the anti-whites, again, whatever you want to call them, there is definitely, they'll have their arguments, they'll have their disagreements, and as cringe as they can possibly be, at the very least, they can actually look past their differences and actually form together as like one unit. We still can't do that, unfortunately, and it's just real shame that we still happen to go through this bullshit of, well, I think it should be this, or I think it should be that. It's like, look, again, not an original point to make, but time is not on our side, folks. We definitely need to at least put our differences aside. We may have our differences, and that's completely fine. It's one thing to have disagreements on certain things, but I think ultimately speaking, we're on the same boat as each other. We don't want the native population of Great Britain to be replaced. I think we can all agree with that, and we definitely need to do something about that. And we can do it later on. Something that has to be done right now with regards to that. Just 1 second. I was going to ask your opinion on something that happened to me that you may find interesting. It involves false racism allegations by a non-white customer in work. I barely survived and kept my job. Wow. Well, that's good that you kept your job when it comes to that. But it's interesting because I remember one time, and I was working in a warehouse type of thing. This was back in like maybe mid to late 2023. I'm not working there anymore. I'm working in a completely different place that I've been working for a long time now. But this different warehouse factory work I was doing, nothing happened to me personally, but something happened to my colleague, who I wouldn't say I'm like pals with the person, but we do talk here and there, and all of that, because this was when I was just getting on from agency all the way to full contract work type of thing, because of course apparently I was like one of the best workers type of thing, and we would talk about like how that process was getting on and all of that. Well, this gentleman, he was working in the same area when we were packing and putting stuff in boxes type of thing. And we still had agency workers coming in to do some of the work. I think this would be just after Christmas, around about January time. And there was a gentleman, the agency worker, who's a black man, to say the least. He was doing something that was maybe slow, or he wasn't entirely working fast enough, type of thing. So the colleague who I know, again, not mention the name obviously for privacy's sake, but he wasn't being nasty or anything like that at all. He was basically just showing the guy, look, here's how you do it. Here's how you do it this way, and how you do it much more quicker and much more efficient. And not only is it beneficial for everyone around you, but this could be beneficial for yourself, how to get the work done, and also to get more numbers up, to get the productivity up, and all of that. So he does that. This black worker basically turns around and asks him, why are you being racist? Now, the guy in question was not being racist at all. He was just showcasing the black worker. Here's how you do this, and a lot more efficient, a lot more quickly, type of thing. But he got pulled up for it because, of course, the management, or of course, I get told this, and they would take that, very seriously, of course. So the guy was brought into question. He, they listened to the black worker side of things, and this colleague who I knew gave his side of the whole thing, and again, nothing really came of it, with regards to that. He was completely cleared with that. So yeah, I could definitely understand that when it comes to the work environment, it must be like really, really tough for a lot of people. Yes, even Josh G, again, apologies if I butcher the name. Yeah, even writes in the chat, it is tough for working people. It's why I can't understand why retirees are so timid. What is to lose? Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it would definitely be a very tough for any work environment when it comes to that, because it's like you have to constantly walk on eggshells. You can't exactly fully express yourself, and you can't exactly, I mean, it's one thing to maybe like, like help people when it comes to that, but in this case you can't exactly do that, because you might see something entirely wrong, and then it gets completely warped and act like as if, well, you said this, but clearly that's not what's being said. Like they've just taken it completely out of context, type of thing, or not even just out of context, but they would just completely shift it to the point where it's like, oh, why are you being racist, despite the fact there was no indication or inkling of actual racism going on, type of thing. But yeah, but anyways, but yeah. I definitely can understand a lot of people's perspective on that. My advice would be is look, just keep your head down, just get on with that type of thing. And just I mean, it's the only thing you can do at this point, really. But anyways, right. So, but thank you very much for that question. And it's almost 6:30. Let me just see if I can get the video up in question, and then we'll get started. Yeah, there we go. Right. Also, just gonna make sure it's not. Let's pause there. Excellent. Right. So let me just see if I can also share this. Share entire screen, of course, as I normally do. Also share system audio. Of course, considering we're going to be watching a YouTube video, we'll definitely need
effort,
we definitely do
duty,
need
stewardship.
audio. Wait,
This
what?
is the England.
Pause the video. Like, God, I hate YouTube when I'm using the computer because I pause the video instantly, and despite that, it still plays it. It's so annoying that. Right. Now, before I go any further, let me just quickly close my blinds just real quick. Yobo Cat, how you doing? Thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. Don't think I've seen you before, but anyways, thank you very much for watching. Bear with me just now. I'm just going to shut my curtains just one sec, and then I'll be back. We'll begin with the video. Now, as I do that, I'm just going to mention as well just now regarding to Rupert Lowe's video. This video definitely went viral, and from what I can see from the video's page on YouTube, it's definitely almost garnered 1 million views. It's only been like what 2-3 weeks old at this point, but anyways, I cried watching. Let's see. Right. Am I? It'll be this one, of course. How would I not know that? Right. Okay, here we go. So here's a video in question. So today I am launching Restore Britain as a national political party. This is on the official Restore Britain YouTube channel. Might as well just subscribe to the channel, of course. Why not? Right. Let's see here. So the video in question, I believe, is just over 7 minutes long. We're probably going to watch the full thing. There will be some pauses because there will be some points I want to make with regards to the video, because I have seen the video in question and there's a lot of stuff that I do agree with. So let's have a look at this together. So let's see. 3, 2, 1. Just full screen it and play.
I have chosen to speak to you today from the farm because places like this represent what proper Britain is about. Hard work, responsibility, effort, duty, stewardship. This is the England I know, and this is the England that I love.
All right, so 25 seconds in. I know that seems pretty early to pause, but right there, I can imagine if, even though I'm Scottish, right? But if you're an English person and watching this, I would imagine that this will definitely resonate with a lot of people in terms of what it actually means to be English and all of that. And I think the way they filmed this video in terms of filming it on a farm, and I think maybe somewhere in like the English countryside, I definitely would say is a perfect location for that. It would be like if Restore Britain did a Scottish version of this type of video and have it be in the Highlands, which to me, that'd be perfect, because it would have been easy to film it in some village or maybe like a small, like a town or city that somewhat represents England and whatnot. But considering the way things are with the immigration policies that are happening just now, I would imagine maybe that wouldn't be the best idea. And of course, with this, it would definitely be like a better option with that. Also, can people hear the video real quick? Something I should have actually brought my chat up here just now. 1 second. Right, perfect. Okay, so let's continue on with that.
On a farm, you don't think in election cycles or headlines or polling. You think in seasons. You think in generations, in what you leave behind to those who come after you. And that's why, here on the farm, I am now launching Restore Britain as a national political party. I'm now going to dedicate my life to finding, organising, funding, and providing hundreds of qualified candidates to present to the British people at the next general election. This process has already started, with invitations being issued to patriots in aligned political parties, Reform, the Conservatives, the SDP, Advance, and more. In local politics, we will work in partnership with localised political parties, such as Great Yarmouth First, that have the best interests of their residents at heart, combining our forces at the next general election. The men and women standing for Restore in that election will not be politicians. I promise you that. They will not be failed ministers. They will not be tainted by failures of the past. They will be from business, from the military, from science, from medicine, from education, from industry, representing real communities up and down the country.
And see that right there, again, just pausing it at 1 minute 47. Again, that right there, I can imagine would resonate with a lot of people watching it. Like, yes, this is Restore Britain. This is a political party that is essentially for the people, by the people of Britain. Well, in this case at the moment would be mainly from England, but again, the idea is there. And again, completely 100% on board with that idea. Definitely in this case, that they want the people to be members and to essentially actually in this case representing the British public, whereas what we have now, whether it be the Labour Party, the Greens, Tories, SNP if it's up here in Scotland, so on and so forth, that claim to be for the general public, but really they're just only for themselves essentially. And a lot of people have completely lost faith in the mainstream political parties. Whereas Restore Britain, they really wanted to be a party that is for the British, by the British, essentially. It's for the British people in this case. So let's continue on with that.
Every single one will be from well outside the existing political establishment, and every single one will understand the difficult decisions that need to be taken, because there are no easy fixes. I'm not going to tell you comforting lies about the condition of our country. I have only ever been honest with the British people, and I will be straight with you now. What is necessary will be incredibly painful. But for the first time in a very long time, voters will have a genuine alternative which is truthful with them about the scale of what now has to be done.
Again, pausing at 2:25 right there as well. Again, another point. I think a lot of people, again, resonate as well. The problem with a lot of mainstream political parties is that they claim, again, they support the British people and they're making all these promises. But as we've seen from the Tories, from Labour, and so on and so forth, it's been nothing but broken promises after broken promises after broken promises. Whereas this, Rupert Lowe comes out and is completely 100% honest. It's like, look, we want to do this, but it's not going to be easy. It's going to be painful. It's going to be difficult for a lot of people, but it is a necessity. It needs to be done. And I like that. And a lot of people also like that as well, because again, he's being straightforward and honest. He's not pretending to be this like do-goody savior, or he's going to save the British public and all of that. No, he's just being straightforward and honest. Like, look, here's the situation, and yeah, it's not going to be easy, but this is what needs to be done. It's very straightforward and honest about that. So let's see, just one quick. Similar to Mosley View. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. Watch and hope, but in the meantime, keep doing what we do. Yes, completely agree. Yeah. I mentioned that before, and I think a lot of people in the chat as well that have also said, I do support Restore Britain, but they're not going to become members as of yet. They want to maybe support it just afar at the moment. And again, I completely understand that point, because from what we can see now, things could easily change, and we just hope to God that Rupert Lowe does not screw this up. Hopefully, in this case, when it comes to that. So continuing on from there.
The first priority is to control who comes to our country, and more importantly, who stays in our country. Restore Britain will not just stop mass immigration, we will reverse it. Every single illegal migrant will be securely detained and then deported. The message will be unrelenting. If you are in this country without our permission, you will be removed. For the foreseeable future, far more people must leave Britain than arrive. If a foreign national is unable to speak English, lives in social housing, claims benefits, refuses to work, fails to integrate, commits crime, or even actively hates our way of life and wishes to do us harm, then they must leave or be made to leave.
And here's where a lot of the YouTube edits come in. Because I could just, a lot of people within the nationalist sphere were just listening to that and we're just like, yes, yes, 110% yes. Absolutely, yes. It's something that a lot of people have been thinking, and here's Rupert Lowe with this video is just coming out of the woodwork and just saying it like it is. Well, again, let's just hope he remains consistent on that, please, to God. So, anyways.
Restore Britain will make our communities safe again for women and children. That I promise you. If that means millions go, then millions go.
And there's the money shot again. If that means millions must go, if millions go, then millions go or must go. Yeah, that's where it came.
We're constantly told that the economy needs vast swathes of low-skilled migrants. We know that's simply not true. What we need is to get millions of healthy Brits back into work. A radical overhaul of how welfare is delivered.
Yes.
Protecting those in genuine need, but not funding healthy shirkers to live off the back of hard-working men and women.
Yes, again, sorry.
If you can...
Oh, crap. Just back onto there just now. Maybe go back 5 seconds. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so I was just going to say, just that right there. Yeah, again, completely on board with that. Let's completely take the benefits, completely rebooting the system, the welfare system completely, so that it no longer becomes a, what was it people were calling it at this point? Because people do take advantage of the welfare system instead of using it as a hammock. I think it was Laura that made that point. Instead of using it as a hammock, it has to be completely changed from the ground up completely and actually being made to use as a safety net rather than a hammock. And that I completely 100% on board with that, because like I said, a lot of people, not everyone, there's definitely people within Britain that definitely do need the welfare system, whether it's because of their health or whatnot. There are definitely people that definitely need it when it comes to that. But seeing that, and I would definitely say ever since COVID back in 2020, there's definitely a lot of people that have taken complete advantage of it, to the point where they just, well, I get like so-and-so thousands of pounds every on a monthly basis, or maybe it's bi-weekly or whatever. You know, I get this amount. You know, why bother going into work when I basically just sit on my arse and doing absolutely fuck all, and just get this amount of money from the government? Why go into work when I can basically do this? And there's, as I said, people do take advantage of that, and I completely on board with this. Let's just completely scrap the benefit system, completely rebooting the whole thing entirely, so that it becomes more of a safety net rather than a hammock, and people actually use it if they really need to use it. 100% on board with that.
To live off the back of hard-working men and women. If you can work, you must work. It really is that simple. Restore Britain will be abundantly clear. If you consistently refuse work, then you will lose your benefits. We will punish indolence, and more importantly, we will reward success. We will provide vast economic incentives for men and women to start businesses, generate opportunities, build wealth, and create self-sufficient families. Standing here today on the farm, I know exactly what it means to deal with energy bills, labor shortages, regulation, unproductive paperwork, planning restrictions, tax, and endless uncertainty. The state has definitively become the enemy of the people. Restore Britain will burn away suffocating taxes on work and enterprise. We will slash unnecessary regulation. We will dismantle bloated quangos and the overbearing HR culture. We must crush parasitic Britain. We will restore long-term, stable, logical policy so that businesses can plan and invest and grow again. But Restore Britain is about much more than numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about who we are as a nation and who we are as a people. Britain is not just an economy. Britain is not just an idea. Britain is not just a passport. Britain is a nation. Britain is a people, our people. And Restore Britain will never allow that to be erased. We will.
Yes. yes. A lot of people love this video. In fact, even two people in particular, Asmongold and who's the other gentleman from America as well? Tectone, I think his name is. Even those guys were watching this and were just like, yep, I'm on board. I'm not even from Britain and I'm completely on board with this. Absolutely. I believe even Jarrett Taylor actually became a member of Restore Britain. Again, even though he's American, he's not from Great Britain, but apparently he joined Restore Britain as an American. So, I mean, there you go. So, yeah, a lot of people are resonating with this. A lot of people are agreeing with this 100%. So, yeah, definitely continue on from there.
Celebrate our Christian heritage and the identity that built and shaped this country. Responsibility, restraint, forgiveness, duty, and fairness. In short, a high-trust society. That will mean defending our culture. That will mean resisting the relentless creep of radical Islam. That will mean banning the burqa, outlawing Sharia law, blocking cousin marriages, and reimposing our Christian-based rule of law. A Restore Britain government would legislate to ensure that no halal or kosher slaughter on British soil. This is Britain, and we will do things our way. This political party now exists for one reason: to restore Britain, to make it a better, safer, and more prosperous place for British men and women to raise their families. It will be difficult, and it will be painful, but I assure you, it is possible. I hope you will consider joining me on this journey and becoming a member of our party. It is our country. It is now our collective responsibility to act. Together, we will restore Britain. Thank you.
And right there, I just close that and come back onto here. Wow, almost 50 viewers. That's crazy. Well, thank you very much for coming along to watching the show. But yeah, just going on to that. Yeah, so ever since then, not just the announcement, but ever since that video, it just blew up. I mean, I was surprised to see that Restore Britain has come along and with regards to that, but it completely exploded into popularity. Like, people were just on board, and even we've seen the amount of memberships that have joined Restore Britain ever since then. I believe in the first week, Restore Britain garnered, what was it, 50 or 60,000 followers or supporters, or not well, I think members. And the second week it garnered like 70, maybe 80. At this point in time, it's now, from what I've been told in the chat earlier on, it's now garnered about 100,000 members as of March, the 1st of March 2026. Crazy that it's not even been around for a full year. It hasn't even been around like half a year yet, and already people are on board and are just like, yes, I am putting my support and faith with Rupert Lowe, with Restore Britain. And for me, as I said earlier on in the stream, it's good to see that this is the case. I'm still a bit cautious about it because it's exactly what I've seen with Reform UK. There was a lot of promise to Reform UK, and I know people are not fans of Nigel Farage because of what he did to the BNP and all that, and back in those times. But there was somewhat of a promise with Reform UK. Now, at this point in time, Reform have become the Tories 2.0, as I mentioned earlier on, with having members like our Braverman, I believe another. Someone in the chat might point out another other names. I'm forgetting who else exactly. There was another prominent guy who actually was the one who said, "Oh, it's a great thing that we're bringing in what was it, Afghanis into Britain or Pakistanis. I think it was maybe Afghanistan or Afghanistanis or Afghanis, whatever you call them." Into Britain as that migrants type of thing. Oh, it's a great thing. And of course, then he does like a 180. Oh no, we must support the people of Britain. Completely transparent when it comes to Robert Jenrick. Yes, that's it. Thank you, Tight Scotsman. That's the gentleman. Yeah. So, but for me, I was just completely just no longer supporting Reform UK ever since Suava Braverman or Braverman, however you want to say her last name. Like, to me, it's becoming so much like the Tories 2.0. You might as well have, I don't know, Boris Johnson as becoming a member of Reform UK. Like, that's how desperate they are when it comes to that. Let's see. I don't like the Jean part because I'm old enough to remember charge it if England and Rome covering up for their yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. So yeah, ever since then, like I said, it exploded into popularity. And a lot of people have, mainly from the Reform UK, SIFNAT side of things, have been completely just freaking out. Like, oh, this is like ethno-nationalism is taking over the politics of Britain. Like, I can't believe this is a thing. One person in particular, and I know No Chance has covered this gentleman, I think recently as well. It's Richard Inman, I think the guy's name was. He was just like completely just like, oh, like racism is coming to take over Britain, and like this shouldn't be the way things are. Like, we love certain ethnic groups and all that. We just care about illegal immigration. And I think there was a meme that popped up about this where it's like, well, I can't support stuff like this because my sister, she's got a black boyfriend or husband, and she's got mixed race children. Really? That's your argument why we can't have a white majority country because, oh, God forbid that your sister became a fucking coal burner, right? Okay, me, I guess. Well, I'm sorry, that's not an excuse when it comes to that. I'm sorry, it's not sorry. But I remember seeing that type of shit. Well, I wasn't. I was only maybe there for a couple of times, but my colleague from PA Scotland, who's been there all the time, have actually been told about this as well, where it's like, oh, well, you're giving this protest, seeing us as like patriotic alternative Scotland, they're like, oh, you're giving this protest a bad name, and this is why they're calling us fascists and Nazis because of your viewpoints and all of that. And we don't cuck, by the way. We're honest about who we are. We don't hate anybody. We're just looking out for our own. We're what's it my colleague says is like we're more racially aware or racially conscious, I think it was. Yeah, exactly. So, uh, I even bringing up that whole point where it's like first off, I didn't know about your nephews or whatnot being mixed race until you brought that up. So why are you bringing this up in this case out? And the only reason I can think of why they would make this argument as a why, well, this is why we can't have a white majority Britain because it's not the olden days anymore and blah blah blah. It's just like it's emotional manipulation. That's exactly what it is. It's just emotional blackmail. Well, we can't do this because what about mixed race people? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, mate, it's not our fault that they're fucking degenerates. And it's not. And by the way, we don't necessarily have a problem with mixed race people necessarily. We just have a problem with people who are in these mixed race relationships to begin with. It's best to stay with their own people at the end of the day. And it's not just our group that says it, or like or other ethno-nationalist groups that are saying it here in Britain. a lot, in fact, funnily enough, a lot of non-white people actually make this point as well. Like Indians, for instance, right? Indians are like the the best example of they don't want to branch out of their own group. They would rather stick with their own people. Yes, there is the all crime here and there when it comes to them being in this country, but most of the time they would rather stay with their own people. Look at I think like maybe was it the Muslim community or something like that, but there was something to do with like honor killings, like, and this is why you will never have these types of mixed race couples or anything with that at all in those communities, because well, honor killings are somewhat of a thing with regards to it with that. So yeah, hopefully those mixed race people will integrate like Carl. Well, it's actually funny when you bring up Carl Benjamin, because Richard Inman actually called out Carl Benjamin. Oh, he's spouting out racist rhetoric and blah blah blah. It's like, mate, fuck right off. And well, I've also seen ever since the formation of Restore Britain, there's a lot of people who have been trying to cozy up to Restore Britain as of late. And I'm going to show you one example of these tweets. Let me see if I can get this up here just now. By the way, this is going to be on my X account. Well, bookmarks, I would say, but definitely follow me on X if you can. Hold on a second. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post. If you have an X account still, and can definitely give me a follow if you haven't done so already. I'm actually going to do this first of all. I'm going to post a link to my account, and you can follow me on there. It's Chief Moody at Chief_Moody YT. I've actually got 334 followers, which I mean, it's not a lot, but it's definitely something to say the least. But anyway, follow me on X if you can. If you have an X account, that would be very much appreciated. Anyway, so back onto here, I'm just going to go back to where I found this post. Now, some of you might have seen this person on X because he's part of that whole Tommy Tard, Sivnat type of crowd. Anyway, just like Richard Inman and all of that. I think even someone mentioned Paul Thorpe as well, which Paul Thorpe, I don't necessarily have too much of an issue with Paul Thorpe. I know there was that video, No Chance, uploaded where he talked to Paul Thorpe for a little bit, and there was actually a pretty good interaction between the two. So maybe something might come out of that. I don't know, but let's hope that Paul Thorpe actually somewhat sees the light and comes over to our side, essentially. But let me just see if I can share the screen real quick. It's the same one. Yeah. Is it the same one? Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Sorry, just real quick with this comment here. Tommy Robinson, Richard Inman, and company basically advocate for Owen Jones nationalism. Replace yourselves with Green Party voters, or you are Nazis. I know it is ridiculous. Yeah, absolutely. And from what I know, I'm kind of jumping on the head a little bit with the whole Iran situation. What I have seen from Tommy Robinson and co with regards to Iran, to me, is absolutely just fucking disgusting. I cannot believe people look at those tweets and are still supporting Tommy Robinson and just be like, oh yeah, Tommy. I can't believe those fucking people. It's actually fucking revolting, because to me it's basically Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, I think Libya as well. It's those situations all over again. So you'll kill off the leader, you'll destabilize the country, and then what's going to happen after that? They'll probably bring in some kind of Zionist-backed leader for that particular country, and then it completely just shit hits the fan. And what happens after that? You then get immigration into the country. So basically, get ready for a bunch of Iranians coming into Great Britain if they're not here already. I mean, just absolutely just pathetic. And then these apps, and then these Tommy Tars will be the same people. Bro, what's going on here? Why are there most Iranian immigrants here? This is what you all are support with regards to the Iran situation. I'm just going back to the full screen real quick. This is what you guys support. This is what Tommy Robinson advocates with this. And at this point in time, you have no right to complain. You have absolutely no right to complain because you would rather just like I can't fucking believe like just oh yeah like what's like this tweet that's going on like oh like peace for the Middle East or something like that, despite the fact it was Israel that made the attacks first as per usual. But then when that certain country retaliates back, then all of a sudden Israel becomes the victims. And of course, Big Daddy America and I don't think Great Britain got involved with Iran, but America, of course, as usual, just came in and just blew up a bunch of shit. And of course, killed a lot of people with that. Revolting when it comes to it. So, but anyways, I guess people just don't learn from their mistakes in the past. But anyways, let's go back on to this tweet. Now, again, you might have seen this person before, Grifty, at the Grift Report. So ever since this launched, and a lot of people have shown their support for Rupert Lowe and Britain First. No, not Britain First, sorry, Restore Britain. My apologies. Let's have a look at this tweet, because he does, I'm assuming it's a he, but this person, Grifty, does mention Steve Laws, because Steve Laws has been advocating for Restore Britain as well, or one of the people who have shown their support for Restore Britain. But anyway, let's have a look at this real quick. And this is actually, I have read this, and this is actually very interesting from this person, but just see what you think, right? We're going to read the whole thing. Actually, wait 1 second, because I think there should be music in the background for that I think suits this message very well. 1 sec. Volume, yeah, back there. Right. It's not anything bad, but I think it's the type of music that I think suits this tweet perfectly, in my opinion. So let me see if I can put this music on in the background as I'm reading this text. Let me see if I can go on to here real quick. And yeah, there we go. So hold on. Maybe the music might be too high. Right, back to the beginning. All right, here we go. Hi, Rupert Lowe. Congratulations on your new party. As a potential voter and a Jew, I must wanted to ask a question. I've noticed. I still think it's a bit too loud. Maybe, yeah, that'll do. Is that right? I've noticed over the past few months that ex-Homeland / BNP types have been endorsing you because you share their re-migration stance, which I also support. I also agree with many things ethno-nats believe in, bullshit, and share the same values as you and them, but goose-stepping cosplayers like Steve Laws, etc., have hijacked the ethno-nat cause with a false sense of Christian values, quote-unquote, disguised as nationalism while secretly worshipping the Austrian painter chap and giving real ethno-nats a bad name. I just noticed one of them has joined your party and donated. I wanted to ask publicly, do you welcome these people into your party, or do you reject their beliefs? I personally would be evicted from the country if they had their way as an English Jew. So I just wanted to clarify before considering joining your new party. And no, anyways, getting back onto that. When I first read that, I couldn't. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, it's not even been like a full day or two or whatever, and they're already just trying to worm their way into Restore Britain. Like, immediately trying to go in and try and take over. It's so transparent on what they're doing. I could not believe it. And the fact that they're making this point about, oh, they're the true ethno nats in this case. No, they're not. In the past, like, they've completely denounced stuff like ethno-nationalism because, oh, it's like racism, and oh, they only just want to keep white people in Great Britain. And And now it's like they're claiming to be FNATs. Like, oh no, they're the real FNATs, and people like Steve Laws and co are just basically a bunch of LARPers who jack off to a certain Austrian painter. Fuck off. It's like I couldn't believe it. And of course, many people called him out for like being the bullshitter that he is, because it's so when that part when they mentioned, oh, I see that some ex BMP / Homeland members have supported and even may have donated to your party. Do you denounce them at this point? Because if they get their way, they might exile me because I'm an English Jew. Oh, it's just like these fucking people. It's so transparent of what they're doing. Yeah, that English Jew is voting green. What a piece. Yeah, exactly that. It's so transparent. It's because what they're doing, and this is a tactic they've done for many years, is emotional blackmail. And I'm sorry to say to Grifty, but the emotional blackmail is done. You're not going to use that as a tactic for people ever again. People can see through, thankfully. People can see through the bullshit that what you're doing. And just what they're doing in this case, they're immediately trying to go in and immediately try and take over. And I guarantee if that doesn't go to plan, then they're going to do the destructive way, which is like, oh, they're just an actual neo-Nazi like political party, and they need to be completely defunded or completely banned, like because we think they're going to be the next National Action or any of these other types of groups. Really, like really. All right, okay, dude. Steve Laws is far too liberal for my liking. I mean, look, I like Steve Laws. I have talked to him a couple of times, and from what I've seen of Steve Laws, he's very staunch on his beliefs when it comes to that. So yeah, definitely. So I like Steve Laws, but I can see some people might have their criticisms of Steve Laws. Maybe he's like too hard stance on some things, but I do like Steve Laws. I do agree with a lot of his points. Shout out to Sam Melia. Yep, Sam Melia. I believe Sam Melia is a free man finally. He is currently writing a book about his time in prison, I believe. I don't think it's been released as of yet. I think it's available on pre-order or something like that. But I'm sure it'll be available soon. And I believe he has posted both on Telegram and on X. So definitely follow him on there. And he's also going to be appearing on Mark Collett's Patriotic Weekly Review this coming Wednesday, which I believe date-wise, that is Wednesday the 4th of March. So, yeah, definitely check it out when it comes. So, indeed. Folks, that's just after 7 o'clock. I normally do these streams for about like an hour long type of thing. So, yeah, I think at this point in time, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to end the stream just there. So I actually can't believe the amount of numbers we've gotten. This is actually the amount of numbers I've got in a long while. I don't know what the hell's going on with that, but for that, thank you guys very much. I think the maximum amount was like 71 or 72 viewers, which I mean, that's definitely a lot more compared to what I normally get, which is roughly what 8, maybe 10 people watching. So, but I greatly appreciate the turnout. There may be more people coming in that might not necessarily agree with my stance on things, which again is totally fine. Not like I want to make this an echo chamber or anything like that at all, but I appreciate the turnout. And I should be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. as well. Actually, we kind of maybe talked about Iran just a little bit. Well, we'll maybe go back into Iran a little bit tomorrow as well. But there's also another thing I want to do as well with regards to tomorrow's stream. And it was also something I was planning to do for this episode for 238, which is a review of Steve Laws' debate with, I think, Andrew something. I forget the gentleman's name, but maybe I might do that as well for tomorrow, but we'll see. So, but yes, anyway, so with that, that is going to be me for this evening. Thank you very much for coming along. Mark and Co will be live later on this evening. I think they're live at 7 o'clock just now. or is it 8 p.m. they're live? It's the Nationalist A Team. So 1 second, if I'm just going to double check that, because I'm not sure whether or not if they're live at this moment in time, or maybe that's like later on at 8 p.m. Hold on a second. Nationalist A Team. Yeah. So as you can see, Nationalist A Team, which is 8 p.m. till 10 p.m. And that's on Mark's Odyssey channel. So if you want to give that a watch, then definitely do so when you can. That's tonight at 8 p.m. Andrew Gold, that's the name. Goldstein. Anyways, so that's gonna be it when it comes to that. So yeah, thank you all very much for watching. This is Chief Moody signing out. You have been watching the Mood of the Nation podcast, and I will see you all in the next one, probably tomorrow at 6 p.m. Thank you all so much, and good night. And again, thank you all very much for watching. Take care and good night. Thank you all again.